Russia and Ukraine are currently at war after Russia on Thursday launched a military operation in Ukraine. There had been tensions between Russia and Ukraine, a former Soviet republic, for a long time. However, the situation started getting out of control in early 2021. Ukraine's desire to join the North Atlantic Treaty Organization is at the heart of this conflict. Russia is strongly opposed to Ukraine being a member. In January 2021, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky urged US President Joe Biden to let Ukraine join the NATO. This act angered Russia, which started sending troops near Ukraine border for training exercises in the spring of 2021 and increased it during autumn. By December, the US raised an alarm over the deployment of the Russian troops, and President Biden warned of severe sanctions if Russia invaded Ukraine. Russia has demanded that the West gives a legally binding guarantee that NATO will not hold any military activity in Eastern Europe and Ukraine. Vladimir Putin claims Ukraine is a puppet of the West and was never a proper state anyway. This is not the first time tensions between Russia and Ukraine have reached boiling point. Russia had invaded Ukraine in 2014 when rebels backed by President Putin had seized large swathes of eastern Ukraine and have fought Ukraine's army since then. At that time, Russia had annexed Crimea, a region of Ukraine that is under hostile Russian occupation. Jide Ojo is a political analyst. This is what he has to say on how this conflict will affect the global peace order.
We are still under severe threat of COVID-19. Now, this is a needless destruction. Lives will be lost, and majorly, it will be lives of innocents. When we have a global pandemic that should have been of more importance to us to deal with.
Mr. Ojo goes on to draw what some may describe as an unusual parallel between the war between Russia and Ukraine and the agitations of IPOB in Nigeria.
You know, we also have that kind of separatist agitation in Nigeria, in the IPOB, Indigenous People of Biafra. I look at IPOB agitation in the mode of those two separatist organizations that are wanting out of Ukraine with the backing of Russia.
Nigeria may be a world away from the conflict, but it cannot be totally immune from its effect. Speaking on the effect this conflict might have on Nigeria, Mr. Ojo said,
"It will be an indirect fallout for Nigeria. It's also going to impact negatively on our trade relations with Russia and Ukraine. A number of Nigerians are studying in Ukraine. Sports, entertainment is going to impact negatively on Nigeria. In terms of trade relations, it will affect Nigeria because there are some companies, Russian companies operating in Nigeria, some Ukrainian companies operating in Nigeria, and this may impact negatively on their fortunes, and some of them may be forced to retrench or to stop doing business with Nigeria."
Many Western nations began evacuating their citizens when they obtained intelligence of the intention of Russia's president, Vladimir Putin. Nigeria took no such steps. The statement the Nigerian embassy in Ukraine issued in late January did not quite touch on this. Now that the war has truly begun, Mr. Ojo is calling on the federal government to speedily evacuate Nigerians trapped in the country.
Federal government should as well get prepared to evacuate our citizens who are studying or working in Ukraine. And that, I think, should be the primary concern of the Nigerian government now, to ensure safety and security of our citizens, both in Russia and in Ukraine.
This war sent global markets into a tailspin as big losses were recorded. The price of oil has also soared above $100. Reacting to this, Mr. Ojo admits this conflict might affect oil price, but in a positive way.
Well, in a sense, it may actually work in our favor in terms of oil pricing. Because when there is crisis, there will be demand. There will be disruption. So Russia, Ukraine may not even be able to meet their quota And that means, you know, countries like Nigeria may harm more because our OPEC quota may be increased.
So what can the federal government do in order to mitigate the effect this conflict will have on Nigeria?
The most important thing is that good sense, good reasoning should prevail. So Nigeria at this point should be part of the global community that will sue for peace. In that sense, we could be part of the solution in terms of getting diplomatic solution to this whole Ukrainian-Russia face-off.